Hi, welcome students to week 2. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we're doing this week. You can take a look at the brief overview. Certainly that's helpful as well. I'm going to take a look at get rid of this. Take a look at the assignments here. The thing that lists everything, because that's helpful. That way we don't miss anything. So week 1, wrapping up, we were working on the photo essay, which is a fun narrative essay, and getting started on the proposal letter, which kind of works itself into week 2. So we're going to look at those two things today. Right, what is the proposal letter? What is essay 2? And the other parts you can see on there. There's a quiz 1, which is right here under quizzes. That's going to be on basic sentences. Now what you're going to want to do for that is review the beginning of the basic grammar lecture, which is in the grammar section, the grammar module. There are 2 discussion questions in week 2. There are the readings. All right, so let's start with the proposed letter, which continues from week 1. So to write the proposed letter, you're going to want to have a couple different resources. Four, to be specific. You can find these in a variety of ways, but here would be an easy way to get started, right? So you need 4 resources to write the letter. That's really not a big deal. All right. So I've been kind of guiding you here without telling you where we're going. Right. So go to your college homepage. Go to academics. You'll see a click down for library. Once you get there, click search by article or search for articles, which brings you to this page here. Hit databases A to Z. That just gives you everything. And for right now, like I said, a good way to get started is to just look at Britannica Academic. You know, the Academic Encyclopedia Britannica. Because what this does, this gives you basically somewhere to get started. Right? So if I am doing a research paper, this would be more for like essay 2. But say I want to like expand this topic out to make it into a research paper, I could do something like that. That would be pretty easy. All right. So what I'm going to look at here is the just general page, like the encyclopedia page on this general topic. And what I'm doing here is you're gathering, basically just background information. But in this, you might be looking for, there'd be various things. Let me go and I'll bring up the list of what we're looking for. In a proposed letter, you need 2 types of resources. You need one that is called primary and one that is called secondary. A primary resource is something I'm looking for right now. It usually comes in 3 basic categories. This is page 29 of the research paper lecture. It continues this on the next couple pages. But I'm basically looking for art, a speech or interview, document study, law, something in that range. So if I can find something like that related to my topic, I might switch my topic slightly because I thought of somewhere where I might be able to find such things, but that's all right. Let's just see if we can find it this way. Uh, so I just started to get a little sniffly right there before I turned the video on, so I apologize. Um, So I didn't find anything. Honestly, that would be probably the best way to describe that. That was a search that came up with really nothing that could be remotely useful for me. Great Depression, Dust Bowl. These are specific areas of U.S. poverty or specific um, eras and time periods of poverty, which is probably a good idea, right? I looked at the initial page on the topic, found it to be too general, right? So what am I going to do now? I'm going to be more specific. I'm going to look at periods. And here I do come across two things here that could totally work. It just depends on what you're looking to create. Honestly, if I were writing about economics and poverty, I really want a study. I don't really want to write about a novel, but maybe I do. Maybe I've read this, and this could be a fruit. But for the purpose of this demonstration, this works fine. We've got a song here, we've got a novel here. So technically, if I'm looking at primary source, was I able to find a primary source for this topic? Yes, right? I found a novel and I found a song, both of which would fall under the art category. So, admittedly, if we're talking about economics, I'd rather find a study. Let's just be real. But for the purpose of this example, this is fine. I've got this, I've got that. I could choose either one as my primary source. All right. And you're able to find that through Encyclopedia Britannica. Now, say I'm looking for some secondary sources. That would be, of course, the other part of a good proposal letter. You need one main source, one primary. In this case, we could say Grapes of Wrath, right? And then say we were looking for secondary sources. There are a lot of places that you could look for these. I'm going to give you a couple possibilities here. Look at academic file, one file, academic search complete. All right, so take a look there as well. For this moment here, we're going to look at opposing viewpoints. If you've seen some of my other videos, that's a good place to start. So I'm going to look up the same thing. I'm going to look up that particular period of time known as the Dust Bowl and see what we find. So I found some academic journals, some images, some magazines, video, primary source. Let me see what the primary source is. Dust Bowl. Oh, so it's a song. Okay, interesting. News, audio, references. All right, so these all look good. Mainly what you're looking for a secondary source would probably be right here. Academic journals. The Ecology of Wrath. The Cause. Yeah, sure. I would think about what my primary source is and what I can show using that primary source and what I can analyze. But certainly there'd be a very easy way to say take that primary source, this secondary source right here, and maybe obviously a couple other ones, and to do some kind of how do we see the real effects of the Dust Bowl in John Steinbeck's Grapes of Wrath. That would be fantastic. So that's much of the heavy lifting as far as the research that goes into creating a proposal letter. Let's go ahead and take a look at the proposal letter itself. You have a sample right here where I start off with just a little personal narrative about myself using I, like what's your interest in the topic. The purpose of the second part is to get all these questions. You want to state 6 to 10 complex questions that you will then answer in your research paper. So you state those. That's awesome, right? That's most of what we're doing here. So we got a little personal narrative. We ask the 6 to 10 questions. We state the main source. In the case of this example, I'd put Grapes of Wrath by Steinbeck there, and then put my secondary sources, including this one here, right, on the cause of the 1930 Dust Bowl. I'd put that in here. Put title and author for the primary source, title and author of the secondary source. That's all you need there. And then at the very end, just say kind of like a next step sentence, which is pretty easy. Just if you look on page 35, it'll give you some good ideas about what you could put there. Just like a one sentence on what's your next step in the research process. All right, so that's the proposal letter. Remember, it's just one page, and it does require some like preliminary research, which is what we were going over here, mostly in this video. All right, so that pretty much covers the proposal letter. There is a section on it in the research paper lecture. If you look at pages 27 to 35, we'll cover various aspects of writing a proposal letter. But make sure to use that checklist, which is on 27.